Hello and welcome to Empowered Spirit Healing. Today we're continuing on with our next episode, and the first chapter up is animals. So I wanted to bring on my little animal. This is my little pooch called Biscuit, and she's a little cavoodle. She's so cute. So I just wanted to bring her on to say hello, although she gets a little bit uncomfortable in front of the camera. I think she's a bit camera shy. Just brought her on to say hello, and then we're going to get stuck into the next chapter. So we are up to chapter 15, which is called Animals in the Golden Future. Animals originally incarnated to share our planet with us. They arrived from all over the universes and inhabited different continents just as we did. Some of us have had a soul affinity with certain species and they with us. Others felt alien. The divine plan is that we live and learn together with animals. They are right-brained and heart-centered, while we humans predominantly operate from our left brain and mind. Neither is intended to be superior or dominant. So the next section is Animals in Atlantis. Throughout the famous golden era of Atlantis, animals were honored and treated with respect. They incarnated to serve us, and everything that they offered was received with love and gratitude. Cows, bulls, horses, goats, pigs, and sheep were considered part of the family. Every child had a dog and a rabbit, whilst cats watched over homes and temples. All animals were vegetarians, including cats, who had different jaw structures and digestive organs. While the energy of Atlantis degenerated, certain humans experimented on and cloned animals. Many of those people have incarnated again during these end times, and are repeating their previous behavior. This will cease as the frequency inevitably arises. When the energy of Atlantis degenerated, certain humans experimented on and cloned animals. Many of those people have incarnated again during these end times and are repeating their previous behavior. This will cease as the frequency inevitably rises. The effect of the cosmic moment. At the cosmic moment in 2012, when source energy touched the heart of every sentient being, the spiritual progress of animals accelerated. Many started their journey to the fifth dimension, while those who were already at that level ascended into higher frequencies. Certain animals have now learned all they need from life on Earth and are ready to withdraw. They will become extinct. However, creatures only become extinct on the surface of Earth. Within Hollow Earth, the vast seventh dimensional chakra in the center of the planet, they live on in etheric form. Other species who were designed for a third dimensional world and are not ready or inclined to live at a higher frequency will return to their home planet or choose to move to another plane similar to that of old Earth. New fifth dimensional animals ready for the new golden age will take their place. Animals in the golden future. In italics it says, all animals, trees, flowers, and vegetables are moving inevitably towards a higher frequency and will soon radiate golden auras. Farm animals. Some animals have contracted to serve humans by offering produce or muscle power. But by 2032, almost everyone will be vegetarian or pescatarian. By 2050, people will just eat plant-based food. Animal farms will be obsolete, and many animals will return to their home planet to process their experiences here and take decisions about their future soul journeys. In italics, it says, avatars will naturally close down, and the land beneath and around them will be deep cleansed. Where farmers really love their animals, some will, however, stay as companions. The new consciousness means that they will be free. People will continue to care for them where necessary, but the concept of ownership of another creature will have dissolved. I personally think this will be really great because so many animals have been just incredibly abused and treated so badly just so that we can have so much meat consumption. And I feel like it's been really, really programmed into us too. I mean, we've had so many ads thrown in our faces about eating more meat and dairy products and all kinds of things. I mean, I personally do like having dairy products. I think certain dairy products are very good for us, especially butter and eggs and things like that. But with the meat consumption, it's really, really hard. I mean, there are so many debates about, I mean, there are people that eat carnivore diets and have had amazing results, and then people that are vegan and have had amazing results. But I personally just think that they are, in my own personal opinion, I think that they are two sides of the same coin. I feel like they're both very extreme, and I also feel like that, eliminating a lot of processed foods, anybody's going to get great results if you eliminate processed foods, because processed foods are a huge part of our health problems and obesity problems and all kinds of issues. Because processed food is not natural. Our body is not designed to digest it. I mean, I'm not perfect with my eating. I try to eat as best I can 80% of the time. And, 20% of the time I do have treats every now and then because I enjoy them and I'm human. I've never really been a very big meat eater ever since I was a child, but I do still have meat sometimes. It's just definitely becoming more and more rare now that when I have it, then an everyday occurrence. And I have had stages of being vegetarian as well. I think everybody needs to do what's right for them, but I just do think, even without reading this book, it just kind of makes sense that as people are moving into a higher vibration and have more compassion and love for the world around us, for plants, for animals, for nature, for Mother Nature, it just really doesn't make sense that one type of species should be killed so that another species can eat it and consume it. It just seems very satanic, I guess, is a word that I could use to explain it. But it's just so accepted these days because of all the programming, I think. So, I mean, I know lots of people might hear this part of my opinion and really, really disagree with me, and that's fine. Like, we're all different. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. But I don't know, I mean, I've got my own little dog, Biscoff, that you've just met. I've got my little cat called Millie, and I've got a little fish. And I can't imagine eating any of them, to be honest. I kind of feel like, sheep and pigs and cows, they're very similar to dogs and cats. They're kind of like a pet, and pets are not just pets. They really become a part of the family. I mean, I often joke that, Biscoff and Millie are like sisters to my daughters. And they really do become part of the family. And I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. Also, I think, maybe it's different back in the day when people mainly lived on farms and occasionally an animal, might have been served up as dinner on a rare occasion for a celebration or something like that. But I really just don't. I think we have been very misprogrammed about eating meat every single day. I feel like it's too much for our system. So, yeah, anyways, there are lots of debates about whether consuming meat is good or not for our bodies. I lean more towards not. I do find it interesting that in this book that Diana Cooper says that, moving into the golden future, that meat consumption will become pretty much non-existent. And I think that'll be really nice for all the poor animals that just get mistreated so badly. It's interesting because now she'll go on to talk about some of the different animals and what planets they're from. So this is really cool. So where farmers really love their animals, some will, however, stay as companions. The new consciousness means that they will be free. People will continue to care for them where necessary, but the concept of ownership of another creature will have dissolved. Some farm animals may wish to experience life without the support of humans, and they will roam the countryside or forests. Hens, who come from a 10th dimensional universe and are highly evolved, will range freely, offering eggs and feathers to those who want them. They originally arrived to demonstrate that service with joy is an important part of the ascension journey. And those who decide to remain on Earth for the sheer delight of being in a physical body will continue to spread happiness and love. That's beautiful. Many sheep from the Pleiades will remain grazing freely, healing people and the land, and offering fleece and even milk where wanted. Pigs too came from the Pleiades to spread love and healing both to people and the land. Despite the way we have treated them, they are willing to stay and continue to support us into the golden future. The wisdom of goats from Orion will be recognized, and those who love these animals may continue to look after them. Delighted with the love link, these goats will willingly offer their milk to them to be made into cheese or soap. As we respect them, they will in turn honor us by tuning in to what we need as well as their own needs. They will no longer indiscriminately chew up everything in their path. Well, that will be good because goats like to chew up everything, but they're so cute. Not everything is written yet about the future. Cows are beautiful fifth-dimensional beings from Lacumae, the ascended aspect of Sirius. They carry divine motherly energy, while bulls embody the divine masculine. That's interesting because cows are very motherly. They incarnated into Golden Atlantis, where they were treated with love and respect. Both bulls and cows living as part of the family. In return, they gave rich, nourishing milk exactly calibrated to the needs of humans. Since the fall, however, they have been so badly mistreated that several years ago. So that's interesting because, there are a lot of people out there believing that milk is not good for humans, cow's milk. But according to Diana Cooper and the knowledge that she has, that their milk has been calibrated to meet the needs of humans. And, well, I really love milk, so I'm going to go along with that. Since the fall, however, they have been so badly mistreated that several years ago they succumbed to mad cow disease and foot and mouth disease, and thousands were cremated. At that time, their oversoul was in discussion with the Intergalactic Council about whether they should remain as a species or leave this planet. So sad. They agreed to stay, but it is very much in question whether or not they will remain for the duration. Pets. Many of us have incarnated with our pets many times, just as we have with our children. The universe ensures that each one is with the right family eventually. Just as an adopted child comes to Earth via another mother before reaching the family of soul choice, so a pet might have more than one home before arriving at the right one. But it will get there. Nothing is by chance. Dogs come from Sirius and are teaching us about unconditional love, and that they do. They form an unbreakable bond with the humans who love them, and this will continue into the golden future. Almost every family will have a dog, and with smaller communities surrounded by nature, there will be more space for them to enjoy life together. That makes me happy because I love my dogs. I mean, I've got just Biscoff now, but I've had lots of dogs over the years, and I just can't imagine life without them. They're so beautiful. Guinea pigs incarnate from Venus, the cosmic heart. They give and receive love, and their purpose is to open people's hearts and heal them. How special. They will continue to do so well into the new golden age. Cats. The cat species originates from Orion. All cats are very wise and incredibly psychic. Yeah. They know everything that is going on. Domestic cats psychically watch over the family and the home, keeping it clear of lower energies. Tigers and lions watch over the planet, holding back and dissolving unwanted external influences. This is incredibly important, and the entire feline kingdom does an amazing job of looking after us and Earth. As the new golden age progresses, animals who need to eat meat will withdraw from the planet. However, cats will continue their soul progress on Earth. So in the new paradigm of harmlessness, they will have to become non-meat eaters. It will take several hundred years to change their digestive structures as well as their jaws. So, in consultation with the Intergalactic Council, it has been decided that a faster transition will be effected, with each new generation of kittens coming in a step nearer to the desired outcome. The vital caretaker role of cats will, however, seamlessly continue. Yes, well, I love cats as well, and I think they're such beautiful, special creatures. And to know that they do so much work for us psychically is really, really special. Insects. Insects are dying at an alarming rate on our planet. However, as we approach the golden future, the frequencies that have decimated many species will no longer be used. New frequencies will operate at a higher level that is harmless to insects, animals, and humans. Only natural organic growing methods will be used, and as the soil, air, and water become pure and clear again, insects will proliferate. They too are raising their vibration and are losing their stings. Well, that's good because nobody enjoys being stung by a bee or a wasp. The fifth dimensional insects, bees, butterflies, ladybirds, and ants will remain on Earth in the golden future, not only working to help the planet, but also continuing to influence us with the sacred codes they carry. As the consciousness of humanity shifts, dramatically with the onset of the Golden Age, we will respect and be grateful for all that insects do for us. The benefits of harmlessness. Remember that one of the key qualities of the golden future is harmlessness. Animals will bring through more wisdom from their home planets to ease the path to friendship between all species. All will be at peace. In italics, it says, by 2050, the world will be a totally unrecognizable place of togetherness and trust. Humans and all animals will live together in amity and peace. Visualization with animals in the golden future. Find a place where you can relax. Take a deep breath and open your heart wide. You are in a golden community where animals are loved and respected. A golden cloak of harmlessness surrounds you. A goat comes to you and you stroke it, receiving a burst of love from its heart. Chickens cluck and peck freely around you. A wolf comes to sit beside you and you pat it happily. All animals are safe and so are you. Notice how this feels. Well, I'm personally excited about the future for animals because I just think the way that they've been treated is just, it's so disgusting. It really, really breaks my heart. I can't stand horrible things happening to innocent beings that have no control. They can't do anything about it. They can't, they can fight back in what way they can, but most of the time humans just, yeah, it's horrible. But this future sounds really, really lovely. So that's good. All right. Now we're moving on to chapter 16, which is all about houses and golden cities. The new golden age will be an era of community, togetherness, fun, friendliness, and harmony. This will be reflected in the houses, which will be built in groups, nestling into the contours of the land. They will have shared facilities, but these will be considered more ecological and less wasteful, and will enable each cluster of houses to be self-sufficient. The concept of personal space will recede as togetherness becomes more important, and this is part of the new consciousness. So, for example, people will join one another to chop vegetables, to eat together, and simply to be. With no ownership in the golden future, there are no boundary hedges or fences between properties. In these heart-centered, leisurely times, there are always adults happy to keep an eye on toddlers. Children, dogs, cats, and chickens wander freely, for in fifth-dimensional consciousness, there is respect for all. And as we have seen, this extends to animals. And I think this is how life used to be for villagers back in the day, and people would work together more as a community. And, I think that's kind of where that saying comes about, I can't remember the exact saying, but about a village raising children. And I really think that's how it was meant to be. It's really hard when you're parenting and doing it all on your own. Or as a couple, it's really hard. And if you don't have family to call on to help with babysitting and various different things, it can be really hard. Another element that marks the new golden time is laughter and lightness. So fun things that are mostly unimaginable to us now will be built into houses. The current equivalent would be a swing from a tree into a pool, a tunnel with a slide down a slope into a bedroom. That sounds really fun. Or a stream that runs through a sitting room. Oh, I'd love that. That would be so relaxing. All unsophisticated entertainment. Construction. In the fifth dimensional frequencies, there will be no need for planning permission. Good. There will only be a collective desire and intention to create harmony and beauty for the highest good. This is still unimaginable to our current understanding. However, the new consciousness will manifest an extraordinary new world. A united vision of community homes will allow them to be built in a perfect way to the satisfaction of all. Yeah, I think we're all living in an environment where everybody is thinking about the highest good for everyone. I don't think things like getting permission from the council and things like that to do certain things for your home will really be an issue anymore. So that will be good. An analogy would be a group of musicians coming together to express a theme, perhaps joy. They attune heart to heart and hold the vision of joy so that they automatically play together and produce something beautiful. And the placement of houses, collective buildings and their infrastructure, roads, new woodland, orchids, or wildflower meadows will be decided in the same way. The houses of the future will be constructed from solid, durable plant material that can be extruded into any shape using technology of which we currently have no concept. The divine feminine will be in evidence, and all homes and buildings will be round, oval, or curved. In the imaginative golden future, many people will design homes with flowing, unusual aesthetic shapes with shaped windows. Without angles, the energy can flow easily, and this keeps the frequency high. Yeah, I believe that all these squares and angles that we have in our homes is not actually good for us. I think it kind of messes with I'm not entirely sure with all of that, but I do believe I've heard somewhere that it messes with our energy not flowing very well. The only exceptions will be pyramids. Many buildings will be formed in this powerful shape, but this will come later, after 2050, when earth currents can once more be directed to stream through these structures to support crystals at their pinnacles. As trees, rocks, and nature formations are honoured, buildings will easily and respectfully be built to flow around them. The foundations of buildings will be of not yet invented materials that allow the earth to breathe. This means that with people living in these homes, we will be able to connect directly with the love, wisdom, and joy of Lady Gaia. Most homes will be single-story because people will want to keep their connection with the earth. Ground-level living will be possible because initially the population will decline, so there will be much more land available. Later, currently uninhabitable land like deserts and areas now covered in ice will be reclaimed. Although all buildings will be created to last, when they have served their purpose, they can be easily taken down, as they will be completely biodegradable. They can also be readily extended if more room is required. The homes will be light and colourful to reflect the happy mood of the people who construct them and live in them. Windows will be made of a new material not yet invented that can keep rooms light and bright or dimmed, as well as warm or cool as desired. Homes will be built by the community. So if you need a house, a group of willing neighbours, friends, or strangers who love building homes will happily join together and create one for you, according to the design you envisage. In italics, it says, in the new consciousness, everyone understands that we are all one. There is no separation between what you do for yourself or another. Using the new materials, homes will be swiftly built by a combination of robot technology and loving personal handcrafting. Later, many of the building materials will be precipitated from the unmanifest realms. As always, because the higher consciousness is harmonious, all buildings will blend with each other and their natural surroundings. Conservation and waste disposal. Although eco-energy will be freely available soon after 2032, people will honour all that is provided by nature. Every house will be constructed with underground water storage. Advanced solar panels will grace all roofs. New technology will replace all our services, such as sewage or dustbin collection, with methods not yet conceived. All food is fresh, so there is no equipment for canning or packaging. Fabrics are self-cleaning and do not crease, so washing machines and irons are obsolete. Wow. Refrigerators and freezers will only be used in a few parts of the world. Microwaves designed for a third-dimensional vibration will be upgraded to a harmless form, while cookers and ovens will have changed beyond recognition. So televisions and our current computers may lurk in some forgotten corner of the attic and be considered weird antiquities. Wow, that's just crazy to think of right now because we are all addicted to our phones and our computers and TV. All of the goods, vehicles, furniture, and more created in our technological age will need to be disposed of. Soon after 2050, awesome new dematerialization techniques will enable such products to be reduced to their atomic form. Unicorns will take the atomic residue into the universe to be disposed of. The Kaihils, tiny elementals from another universe who have come to help us cleanse the oceans and rivers, have been doing a valiant job. However, as the frequency of the world rises, spiritual technology will take over to purify the waters. Golden cities. Soon after 2032, golden cities will start to arise around the world. Golden cities are ecological communities built for the highest good of all inhabitants. They will have little relationship to our current concept of cities, partly because they will be gracious and spacious and will be relatively small. All the houses, land, and trees will radiate golden auras. These cities will naturally be built on ley lines or where they cross. Each of these communities will be connected to a particular planet or star, and in a few cases, more than one. If you originate from that part of the cosmos, you will gravitate towards that city to connect with your soul friends. It will become a portal to your home of origin. The first of these wonderful cities will be created in the mountains or in places where snow and ice have purified the land. Later, others will arise in special places where the frequency is high, and attractive single-story houses will be set around the trees and natural formations. Climate change and some alterations in the geographical structure of the world will mean that conditions are different from now. These will be accommodated in the optimum way. For example, in years to come, some cities will be built on water, others within mountains or underground. However, the high frequency energy and joyous consciousness of the citizens will mean that they can enjoy happy, creative, love-filled, and soul-satisfying lives wherever they are. Everything that applies to the clusters of buildings will apply to the golden cities. The buildings will be communally built on divine feminine principles by generous-hearted people for one another, and there will be no ownership, for that is deemed unnecessary in the fifth dimension. Every golden city will be constructed around moving water, a natural spring, river, waterfall, or ocean. This will be automatically kept clear and pure by crystals and magnets in order to raise the vibration of the entire area. The honest, community-minded inhabitants will create parks, streams, and lakes within the cities where boats and sports equipment will be left freely available for anyone to use. Pools will be built by volunteers for indoor sports, art, or creative studios, and social gatherings of all kinds. In the new consciousness, everyone will feel happy, confident, and that they belong. So everyone will feel welcome to take part in any activity. Well, that sounds good. It sounds like social anxiety will be a thing of the past, because that's something that I've definitely struggled with and tend to just do a lot of things on my own because I just get a bit anxious about joining up with community things unless I've got a friend to go with me. So that'll be interesting to see how that will change. Within each enclave of the city, there will be a communal area for togetherness, laughter, and sharing. Some of the early golden cities will be built in Norway, Sweden, Austria, Germany, and Greece. Greece is particularly interesting, as the Parthenon was built on the site of the cosmic pyramid, originally constructed by Poseidon, a high priest of Atlantis, with the assistance of Athena, a high priestess of Atlantis. Although the pyramid was destroyed centuries ago, the high frequency energy and information held within the original building lie there dormant, waiting for the Earth's Kundalini to be awakened. When this happens, soon after 2032, a golden city will arise, connected to the healing constellation of the Pleiades. Greece will become a world leader in the health and healing methods of the future. Finland is holding very pure light and is receiving energy directly from the Arctic, which is the stellar gateway chakra of Earth. It will not need golden cities, for the whole country will become a golden community. Somewhat later, golden cities will be created in Russia, Mongolia, and many other parts of the world, bringing joy and contentment to the people. There are also countries such as Finland where golden cities will not be built, but golden areas will develop. Here the land and the homes will radiate golden fifth dimensional light and happiness. Wow, how interesting. It'll be interesting to see where everybody will naturally be drawn to move to find their soul families. It's going to be very, very fascinating. All right, visualization to live in a golden city. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Imagine that everything around you is peaceful and happy. You can hear birds singing, soft wind chimes, and the sound of melodious laughter. You are walking beside a clear, pure, sparkling stream. It runs through spacious, gracious, round, low-rise houses. There are green lawns, colourful flowers, trees, and fountains everywhere. The people you see wave to you. You notice that they all move in a leisurely, contented way. And you see that everything and everyone radiates a soft, golden energy. Chapter 17, Travel. People have always wanted to see the wonders of the world. This desire is innate in many of us. Golden Atlantis progressed from a time when they only had basic necessities and walked along tracks to use unimaginably advanced forms of transport. Even in the early days, some people could teleport and use telekinesis to move themselves and materials from one place to another. Eventually, through spiritual technology, they created hover plates on which children and adults could travel for short distances along the ley lines. These were crafted from metals that are no longer available on our planet. As the era progressed, silent ecological Airbuses, ranging in size from small to vast, travelled at different heights along various frequency bands at unbelievable speeds. In italics it says, "We have repeated the same cycle of learning about transport, though we have not reached anywhere near the capabilities of the Atlanteans. In the new golden age, we will massively surpass their achievements." Very interesting. I feel like we could have moved further with our travel, but I feel like that's been limited. My own personal opinion. Because it's easy to control a population that has limited forms of travel. And if we have to have visas and things and certain rules and regulations that limit us from traveling, that makes it much easier to keep control. Before 2032, during the challenging period up to 2032, travel will become more difficult because the fossil fuel we have been using will be in short supply and will become increasingly expensive. Great. So not fun for a little while. Travel, especially by road and air, will decrease until the new eco-power comes in. Because of this, the international movement of goods will decline until it eventually ceases, and this will bring about the end of supermarkets and shopping centres. Part of me knows this is good, but part of me is also a little bit scared because I kind of am a bit dependent on going to supermarkets and things. Every time I try to grow my own vegetables, it hasn't really gone so well. But it all has to happen. It all has to collapse because it's just not sustainable. Countries that have relied on exports will need to develop local manufacturing and businesses. Without mass imports and exports all over the world, everyone will depend on homegrown food and locally made products for a few years. Well, I better up my gardening skills. Cycling will become a much more popular form of locomotion, for without fuel and with fewer vehicles on the roads, it will be faster and easier than walking. Public transport like buses, trains, and ferries will be popular again. In italics, it says, for a short period, it may seem that everything has regressed, but this is just a recovery period after the old paradigm has virtually collapsed and before the new is available. It is also an opportunity for people to share their vehicles communally. After 2032, travel options. As soon as new forms of free eco-power becomes available, people will resume travelling with enthusiasm, for there will soon be safe, fast options on offer. Transports of all kinds will be constructed from as yet unimaginable biodegradable plant material. In italics, it says, in the higher consciousness, whatever you need will be available to you. So each community will have a pool of vehicles, and if you need one, no sooner have you sent out the thought than it appears for you. This seems incredible to our current understanding. Most cars will be driverless, though some people may prefer to have a driver, in which case volunteers will take on this role. The cars will be totally safe, as we finally learn from bats about advanced sonar. All transports will incorporate technology that ensures they avoid contact with one another. There will be relatively little traffic on the roads, and houses will be built without garages. Local traffic. To travel short distances, many people, especially children and teenagers, will ride on individual hoverplates. These will be like large discs on which you can sit or stand, and they will float above the ground, taking you to the destination you designate. Most people will be able to levitate and teleport, and I will discuss what this really entails in a later chapter. Interesting. Small silent helicopters designed for one or two or a family will also be standard. If you need to travel further than your immediate community, one will arrive to take you there. Distant travel. There will be large, comfortable, quiet airbuses in which to travel long distances at incredible speeds. There will also be a type of air train where your own small transport will hook up to an engine with many others going to the same place. You will remain in your individual vehicle as you are all carried at speeds beyond our comprehension to your destination. Here your vehicle will unhook, so you are free to continue your journey as you wish. When peace and international cooperation have been established in the world, passports and all proofs of identity will disappear. When we recognize that we are one, we will all embrace and welcome each other. There will no longer be any need for boundaries. People will be free to travel anywhere in the world. And that will be exciting because I haven't really done much traveling, and that's something that I am looking forward to doing. Travel by water. As we become calmer and more peaceful, and our contemplative fifth-dimensional nature comes to the fore, slow sea voyages or river cruises will appeal to many. After 2050, eventually ecologically powered planes, aerodynamically shaped like our current rockets, will transport people across the world at speeds as yet beyond belief. But this will not be until around 2050 or thereabouts. Humanity will once more be allowed to explore space, as the consciousness will be one of humility rather than entitlement. A return to nature. Spiritual technology will progress very quickly and enable us to do awesome things. However, the more we advance, the more we wish to return to our roots, recognizing that the more our earth star chakras evolve, the higher we can climb spiritually, we will want to connect more with earth and nature. Walking and cycling will become a choice for travel as well as for recreational sport. Families and groups of friends will enjoy taking trips together to watch or participate in games with other communities or countries. This will be for fun and the achievement of excellence rather than competition. Mountain climbing, exploring, and caving will have increased followings as it becomes easier to reach remote places. Gardening will be a particular favourite, combining connection with earth and the natural world with the satisfaction of growing plants and communication with the elemental kingdom. And many will enjoy visiting gracious gardens and beauty spots all over the world. Now, a visualization for travel in the golden future. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Think of a local place that you would like to visit. See yourself walking to your door, where a form of transport awaits for you. What is it like? Get into or onto it and mentally command it to take you to your desired destination. Enjoy the relaxed, quiet, and comfortable journey. When you arrive, get out and look around at the new golden world. Would you like to visit another country? Decide where. Instantly, transport will be there to take you to a central hub where you enter a huge rocket-shaped conveyance. You chat to your fellow travelers. In seconds, you have arrived in the country of your choice. Get out and take the time to enjoy this place. Return home knowing that you can travel anywhere you like, freely, quickly, and easily. Chapter 18, The Law. When the fifth and final experiment of Atlantis was seeded, fifth-dimensional beings from all over the universe volunteered for it. None of them had been to Earth, nor had any of them met before, so it was a journey into unknown territory. These strangers were obliged to share and cooperate, and out of this necessity, the Golden Era emerged. At the start of this period, the High Priest, Thoth, laid down the spiritual laws for the citizens to live by. There was a long and detailed list of the spiritual outcomes of different actions, and everyone honored and lived by this wisdom. When Atlantis fell and the world became third-dimensional, we eventually created our current cumbersome legal system. In the future, our health and safety laws will be regarded with derision, while our arbitrary and antiquated legal system will be viewed with compassion. In italics it says, in the golden future, there will be no legal system, for it will not be required. Spiritual laws. When the great illumined Master Jesus incarnated, he simplified those spiritual laws into 33 laws, plus 3 transcendent ones. These spiritual laws were divided into 4 types. So, the first type is the basic laws of life. As above, so below, and as within, so without, are basic laws. Jesus outlined other basic laws too. The law of request, which reminds you that if you want something from the spiritual realms, you must ask for it. And I think this is something that we often forget. We must, if we want help from our guides, from our angels, from any good spiritual beings, we need to remember to ask. The law of attraction, according to which you attract people and situations that is exactly reflect an aspect of you. And I think that law has definitely been manipulated and misguided and misrepresented. So my thoughts is that 100% there is a law of attraction and like attracts like. But I don't think it can be used just by itself. It needs to be used in combination with all the other laws, the universal laws and spiritual laws. The law of reflection, whereby every single thing that happens in your life reflects something about you. So, for example, if you bump your car, ask yourself who or what is knocking you. That is a very good one. The law of resistance, whereby whatever you resist persists because you are energizing it with your thoughts. The law of projection, where whatever you see in someone else is actually within you and you have projected it onto them. So that's a really good one. If you are being really judgmental about somebody, then just have a little think about why you're judging them. And usually it's because it's for something that you don't like about yourself. And I have done that so many times. And man, it's really, really helpful. It's really, really helpful if you have the humility to do that and to say, okay, I'm judging them for this. Okay, why is that annoying me? Why is that bothering me? And then you realize that it's because you do that yourself or you have that habit or behavior. And then you can work on it to either love and accept yourself or to change that behavior so that you don't keep doing it. The law of attachment, which states that you can have what you want. However, if you desire an outcome conditionally, it prevents it from happening. The minute you let go, that person or situation is free to come to you or leave your life for your highest good. That's another really good one, because sometimes when we want something so badly and we are so attached to it, we actually prevent it from coming to us. So by letting go, then, it's free to come to us. And often it's when we let go, then it finally comes. Okay, so the next lot of laws is the laws of creation. The second group of spiritual laws includes the law of attention, which states that to the exact percentage you truly give your attention to something, it manifests. Positive thoughts have a more powerful charge than negative ones. That's interesting when you're trying to achieve certain goals. The law of flow, which affects every area of your life. So if you declutter your home or workplace, stuck situations shift. Similarly, if you release clogged emotions or blocked thoughts, areas of your life clear. I love that. That is so true. I mean, I just spent some time on the weekend clearing out my garage because it's just getting a bit cluttered in there. And it really, things really do. Like, you feel lighter, you feel clearer, you feel more organized when you declutter your area. And same with thoughts, when you release and let go of negative and limiting beliefs that don't serve you anymore. It's so powerful. The law of abundance, which explains that everything you need is available to you, and the benign universe wants you to have your heart's desire. When you align your beliefs and actions with what you desire, the doors of abundance open to you. When you are fifth dimensional, your needs and wants are automatically granted. The law of clarity, which tells you that confusion keeps you stuck and uses up psychic energy, while a clear decision sets you free. The law of intention, which is very similar to the law of clarity, but with added force. A clear intention is like an arrow that aims for a target, and nothing can deflect it. So it is really important to know what you want. The law of prosperity, according to which you must align yourself to prosperity consciousness by thinking, talking, and acting as if you already have plenty. You must use your wealth responsibly. The universe wants us all to be prosperous. The law of success, which states that you achieve success when your vibration matches the vibration of your desired outcome. In material terms, your beliefs create your success or lack of it. In addition, there is the law of manifestation, which is often referred to as the law of attraction, but there is a difference. To activate the law of manifestation, you must focus wholeheartedly on what you want. You may draw it or talk about it as if you already have it. Then visualize it going out into the universe. The next step is to imagine and feel as if it is in your life and act as if this is so. This is very powerful. So you must state you only wish your vision to manifest for the highest good of all. If you simply use the power for your own desires, you will draw your wish into your life, but you will also create karma. The power of the law of manifestation has been misused in recent years, and this has held the whole planet back. I just think this is so incredibly important for people to understand, because the law of attraction just went insane. And even I got caught up in it for quite some time. But the problem with the law of attraction, like I said, is that it's only part of the whole lot of laws that need to be considered. And the other problem is that people were just using the law of attraction to manifest more stuff, more money, more cars, more houses, more holidays, more stuff that's not necessarily for the highest good of the whole planet. And yeah, I can totally see how this has held the whole planet back from, I mean, I think it was the Cassiopeians who already said that we're already supposed to be, we're supposed to have gone into 40 positive years ago, but we've had so many things go wrong. And, I feel like the law of attraction is one of those things that has gone wrong. And I think this was all on purpose, because, if we were all focusing on, trying to manifest more things that we think are going to make us happy, that's distracting us from actually doing the real work of actually going within and trying to find happiness and love within. Because when you truly love yourself and you find that happiness and contentment within who you are as a person, and you feel fulfilled, you actually don't want so much stuff. I mean, I feel like over the years, the more work I'm doing on myself, the less stuff I want. I mean, yes, I like to have a nice house and I like to have nice ornaments and things around because that makes me feel good. But I hate clutter. I hate having excess stuff that I'm not using and that doesn't serve me and that doesn't have a purpose. And I don't want to live in a really big house. I mean, I've got a house that's a really good size because I have children, but if it was just me and my dog and my cat, I'd be quite happy just to live in a 1 or 2 bedroom place because I don't need stuff. And of course, I want to have a nice car to drive that's reliable, but I don't need it to be a fancy car. I don't need to have, lots of extra stuff because it's just not important to me anymore. I mean, it used to be, don't get me wrong. I went through a stage of wanting to have lots of fancy stuff, but I don't know, it just doesn't matter anymore. There's so many more important things that I would prefer to spend my time and money on. And that's working on myself and healing myself and clearing blocks, and because it's a lifelong journey. And I feel like this law of attraction was really a big trap, a very smart trap that has really held us back. So hopefully more and more people are starting to wake up and realize that, including myself, and hopefully we can all get back on track, because I just don't feel like, I mean, look, I hope that Diana Cooper's right, and I hope, things start really shifting by 2032. But I think that time frame is also dependent on us and the work we're doing within ourselves. And I feel like the more people that are doing the work on themselves, the sooner we will be able to shift into a higher dimension. But the longer people are distracted by all the dramas that are going on in the world, the longer it's going to take us. So we will see. Okay, so the next group is the laws of higher awareness. The law of balance and polarity reminds us of the importance of staying centered and also looking at the aspects of our character that swing between polarities. For example, being a bully and a victim, being generous and mean, being caring and negligent. When you recognize these aspects of yourself, you can bring yourself into balance, because we are all of those. We all have all polarities within us. We all it can go to different extremes, and we all have the potential to be anything. So it's good to realize that and accept that, and then focus on being in balance. The law of karma is, as you give, so you receive. It plays out over generations and lifetimes and is coming to an end as we approach the 5th dimensional new golden age. The law of reincarnation reminds you that your soul is on a long journey. If there is more for you to learn on earth, you return again and again until you have mastered the spiritual laws. So let's just get these laws mastered. The law of responsibility makes clear that you are ultimately responsible for your every thought and action, including how you look after yourself and your small children. However, you are not responsible for anyone else. And if you take decisions for others, you bear any karma that results. So me and Brice talk about this a lot, about how you need to take responsibility for yourself, but you cannot, basically, you kind of have to let other people be. You can warn people about other things that you know about, but at the end of the day, it's their decision what they decide to do. Because if you try to force people to do things because you think it's for their highest good. It's actually not. And then you have to bear their karma because you've taken on something that was not a part of your soul contract. And it's very easy for people, for all of us to sit and judge and think that people should do this and people should do that. But we don't know what their soul journey is. And it's not our business. It's not our place to tell people how to live their lives. So that's a good one. The law of discrimination is particularly important at this time when so much misinformation is being spread. Oh my goodness, yes. It tells you to follow your intuition and decide what is right for you. 100%, that's what we have to do now. The law of affirmation makes clear that your mind acts like a computer. Every thought or word you keep repeating goes into it and programs it. So it is essential to make positive statements and affirm who you are or who you want to be. You will become it. Yes, and so hypnosis is very, very helpful for that. In order to train your brain to have new thoughts that include you loving yourself and that you are worthy and that you are deserving, because we all are. We all deserve to be loved. We all deserve to have the things that we need in life. We should not all be living in survival all the time. The law of prayer offers a reminder of the power of talking to God, for God always answers those who come from the heart and with pure intention. Sometimes, mercifully, he says no. But remember that when you ask, believing, it is already granted. Yeah. And I think, God 100% says yes if we're asking for something that's for our highest good. But if we're not, then, yeah, I get why he says no. The law of meditation reminds us of the power of listening to God. It states that when you quieten your mind, God has the opportunity to drop his ideas into it. I like that. The law of challenge is for your protection in the third dimensional world of light and dark. If a being enters your space under this law, if you ask, in the name of the Christ, are you of the purest and highest light? 3 times an honest answer must be given. Yeah. That's very, very interesting. We do need to definitely ask, because we don't always know if a being that tries to talk to us is for our highest good or not, and if they are of the light. And thank goodness they have to answer if we ask them. So if you're hearing any voices, make sure you ask if they're for your highest good, and if they are from the light. The laws of higher frequency. The law of frequency states that people with higher vibrations positively influence those with lower vibrations. And it's much more powerful. So being of a high vibration can have way more effect on people than one person who has a negative frequency. The law of miracles is very simple, for it reminds you that when you raise your vibration, anything could happen. The law of healing explains that when you bring through pure light, it transmutes lower energies and healing takes place. The law of purification reminds you that your aura is your protection, and when it is totally pure, you are totally secure. So in order to keep your body protected and secure, you need to make sure that you have a clean, clear aura. And if you need any help with that, I do have an aura clearing meditation on my YouTube channel, which you are welcome to listen to as much as you like to make sure that your aura is clear. The law of perspective declares that everything is divinely perfect. So if you don't like what you see, you must change your perspective. That's a really good one because, you know, this is where we have choice. We don't always have a choice of what happens to us in life. You know, I think a lot of things happen to us for our highest good, even though it might not feel like that at the time. But you always have a choice about your perspective on how you're going to view it. So you can view it as something for your highest good, or you can view it as, oh, poor me, I'm a victim and everything bad happens to me and life sucks. But if you view it like that, then, you know, life really does suck. But if you look at it and just think, okay, well, perhaps my soul chose for this to happen so that I can grow as a being, so I can learn all these lessons that I've learned. And quite often, when we do go through some really horrible struggles, at the time it seems horrible, but then when we look back to where we are now, to where we've ended up, we're like, wow, I'm so glad I went through all that, even though it sucked. But now I get to be here, and here I'm so much happier. So then when you look at it that way, it really is for your highest good, even the horrible things that happen. The law of gratitude explains that genuine appreciation opens people's hearts, and it also opens the heart of God, who will bestow abundance on you. Absolutely. The law of blessings touches the person you bless with divine energy, and you also receive. The law of decree is very powerful, for your decree moves heaven and earth to do your bidding. The transcendent laws for fifth dimensional living. The three transcendent laws that Jesus brought forward for the ascension of humanity all those years ago are the same laws that we will live by in the new golden age. These are the law of faith. Faith is the greatest power there is. If your intuition tells you that something is right, your unswerving faith in your vision makes it succeed. The law of grace. Grace is a divine dispensation of mercy and is conferred by qualities such as unconditional love, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness. The law of one. We are all one, so you cannot hurt another without hurting yourself. There will also be sub-laws such as the law of common sense and the law of responsibility. Monitoring society. What if someone does not act in a fifth dimensional way? Will there be punishment or even prisons? No. These are not in accordance with the higher consciousness. There will be a recognition that we are all human without judgment. The person will be surrounded in love, harmony, and grace. In the unlikely event of someone descending into third dimensional activity, they will no longer wish to remain on Earth and will seek another planet where they can act out their drama. In italics, it says, the only guidance needed will be the spiritual laws. A visualization to live according to the transcendent laws. Find a place where you can be quiet and undisturbed. Close your eyes and relax. Imagine what your life would be like if you had total faith in your vision. See a world where everyone has total faith in the goodness of humanity. Imagine what your life would be like if you acted with grace at all times. See a world where everyone acts with grace. See a world where everyone lives in the harmony of oneness. Take this feeling out into your daily life. And I'm going to leave it there. Next week, we will continue on with chapter 19, which is Healing the Planet. I really, really loved going through those laws, and I think they are so interesting because, you know, most of us only know about some of the laws of the universe, and it was really good to go through all 33 of them. I really loved going through this and learning about the animals and everything, and what it's going to be like living in the golden cities, which sounds really, really exciting. I would love to hear your thoughts about what you think about all of this in the comments below. I really appreciate you joining me again, and we will continue on with the golden future next week. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.